Good afternoon all, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Assetto Corsa Competizione. We're at the Nurburgring today. As you can see, if you're into your computer games, got a bit of a hold up here. And we are in VR mode today for a 24-hour approximate race around the Nurburgring in the Ferrari 488. You'll notice that obviously this is quite a large grid, so I've had to slightly reduce the settings in order to be able to run a pretty much full-on grid. So things like textures, that kind of stuff, are just slightly not as polished as other videos that you might see. So just bear that one in mind. You'll also notice that unfortunately in VR mode I can't display any HUD or anything like that. So when it comes to things like positions, lap times, all those types of things which are quite handy to see, I don't get that option really. I can have it in my display, but then it moves around with my head, so it does make it for a bit awkward in when it comes to viewing it in the head display. So I just basically turn it off. So we have, although it's pretty much just under 24 hours, it's about a 20-minute race, so we're going to cover 24 hours in 20 minutes. There's a previous video that I've done to this in Monza, so we're going to go through all the different kinds of lighting at the Nurburgring. And yeah, I thought I'd choose the Ferrari as something a bit different. It's an interesting car to drive. Obviously Ferrari being the kind of make that I want to drive, because as a Ferrari fan, you want to be driving things like the Ferrari. However, what I've noticed when driving is it's not quick. That's the first thing. It's not got the power that other cars have got. As the Lamborghini turns around the Mercedes in front of it, as I unfortunately just clip the rear end of that Lamborghini. But if you're going to turn around your opponent, then that's what's going to happen. Yeah, so the Ferrari's not that quick in a straight line, and you'll notice probably throughout the video that I get a lot of oversteer, and the wheel is constantly correcting. So if you're going into a right hand corner, you'll suddenly get an opposite lock on, that type of thing. And yeah, there's just not really the grip and stability you'd find with other cars. I'll try and display that to you throughout the race. So into the Dunlop curve, we've got approximately sort of 4 to 5 cars ahead of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars ahead of us. We're pretty much on the back tail of this, just really kind of working out where I'm quickest, where I'm going to be able to pass, but also to some extent hoping that this starts to get a bit strung out, because see, tiny bit of a flick on there. Trying to see hopefully that this gets a bit strung out, so if I do go for a pass, I've got room ahead of me to be able to say cut back in, that type of thing. So going through the chicane here, we're approximately sort of 6 o'clock in the evening now. Started the race at 1. Sun quite bright, but now slowly starting to settle. Trying to look for the run here on the Lamborghini ahead of us. Braking into the first corner, but yeah, we're just, hold on. Okay, so the Audi on that corner spins out the Bentley. So we've technically made up 1 place by default, but we've also managed to pass the Lamborghini. And now we've got this Audi R8, which is on our inside. So we're on the inside. So have we taken that? We've taken that. Actually, with ease, to be honest. I've always found that corner to be quite a good place for overtaking. If you can get sort of, if you can hang it around the outside, you've got the inside curve for it. And now we've got a Ferrari and a Bentley ahead of us as we go down the hill towards the Dunlop curve. Sun slowly starting to set, getting into the evening now. So a fellow Ferrari ahead of us. So we ride up onto the curb through the Michael Schumacher S, gaining on it quite quickly. So where are we going to try to pass it? Here's normally not a bad place. We're just going to hold out. Got the car starting to slide a bit there. So we come down the hill again, heading towards that chicane, which in this game is relatively difficult to pass under, just because of how quick it is. Can't really slip it down the inside. Got an Audi right on our arse. Right, how are we getting out? No, so we kind of look to be gain. Oh, put the lights on now. We try to gain, and we're slightly building, so we've got a bit of a slipstream, so we should be able to do it down the inside. Looks like we're going to do it. Have we cleared him? Yes, we cleared him. Inside mirror says that. So the Jaguar ahead of us. And the Jaguar's got a lot more power, so I should find it more difficult. He's very slow in this section of the track. In the Mercedes Arena area. But he should have more power than us, so I should have to get him really around the corners, into the braking zones. See the lights now displaying on the lovely paintwork of the Jaguar into the Dunlop curve. So we've got this trail behind us. I'm hoping this Jaguar doesn't really hold me up too much, because massive amount of time gained. But if you try and look ahead, you'll start seeing that there's very little cars ahead, so I am losing a lot of time behind the Jaguar, and I need to pass him so I can start reeling in all those that are ahead. But we're now sort of 9-10 o'clock at night now. We're really getting into the dark stages. But we're actually gaining on the Jaguar, so he hasn't got as much speed as I thought he would. Through the chicane. Coca-Cola curve. So if I can get a decent run out, that appears to be quite good. I think we might be able to do this into the first corner. We might have to just brake a bit late. Look down the inside. We're not going to do it. We are not going to pass him. Audi R8 now behind us again. All over us. Back into the Mercedes Arena. This is where I feel I'm strongest. If we can try and maybe go around the outside. Yeah. Very slow. Take a bit of the curb. We don't run too wide. Quick look in the mirrors. Think that's job done. So now we've got to find out how far ahead the rest of the field are and try and do our very best to reel them in. I'd say they're approximately about 5-6 seconds further down the road, so we're going to have to start probably pushing it a bit more now. With no traffic ahead, it's the opportunity to start setting faster laps. First time I've driven the car at the Nurburgring in quite a while, so I'm just starting to build up the confidence in what the car can do in each corner. So we should start to see the lap times drop lap by lap.
We are halfway through, keep pushing.
So, while I've got you, obviously we are approximately 2 weeks away now from the full release of the game. Not a huge amount. We've had no further updates for a while now, so it looks like they're just going to go for the full release shortly. And we're going to be able to do all these kind of things, 24-hour races across every single circuit. We've already seen some screenshots which shows the new Bentley as well, which is quite interesting. But they've not really released too much more information about how the game's going to go. I think we kind of anticipate, you know, what's going to happen, how it's going to be, and I think it will be a bit further on into the year where we start to either see sort of a 2019 update. But you know, the good thing about it is the game's really quite playable now. So I've been happy to play with this without any updates now for a while, and I've been happy with it. To be honest, if it kind of almost stays like this, and you just add the extra cars and tracks, but it's money well spent. Money well spent. And I feel I've already got my money out of this game already. As I say, I look forward to the multiplayer where you can share your drives with other people. So that would be really good. And hopefully that will be implemented really well. As we come to the end of another lap. Pretty much halfway through the race now. Struggling to see the cars ahead. That's potentially obviously because it's dark.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
In my VR headset, my Oculus Rift, I can see the track a bit better. This video comes across as slightly a bit darker, so it's quite difficult to see a bit further on down ahead. But from VR mode, we were definitely gaining on cars. Clobber the curb, don't run too wide. So that corner there, sort of coming out of the Mercedes arena, in qualifying they're all over you about corner cutting that. However, in the race they're very lenient about you being able to run wide on that. Oh, almost start to lose the rear end there. Really pushing now. Need to make this race count, but also just to make it exciting. You know, if you're driving, I take too much inside curb. Yeah, you know, you spend 20 minutes in a VR race, you need to race people, and if you're driving around with absolutely nothing to do, it does get very boring. And that's one for driving, but also two for the likes of you guys that are viewing the video. That's what, you know, you want to see some racing. So bear with me, because back a couple of corners ago it's quite evident to see that we were gaining on the cars ahead of us. I think they've just gone through the chicane, so we've managed to find quite a bit of time now. So I'm going to be right up behind them within another lap or so. So that's another lap completed. Another bit of oversteer.
Well done, mate. This is
Another improved lap time. So again, my braking distances, I start to really understand exactly where I can brake with this car. Hence why I'm being able to drop the lap times a bit. You can just see the cars now ahead of us. Trying to work out what they are. Still not taking too much curb. At the moment, we've just got the light trail and then there's sort of a dark shadow. There's going to be no pit stops, by the way, in this race. We are literally just driving for 20 minutes. Oh, get it very sideways again. Take a lot of that curb. Back up the hill. Through the Michael Schumacher S. Into the Michelin curve. Trying to take a bit of that inside curb, but every lap I find I can never be consistent on that corner. And then drop down the hill. We're pretty much going to be almost on them, I'd say, by the Mercedes arena. The way that the pace is going. Clomp the curb on the insides. Don't let it run out too wide. Relatively smooth across there. There was a slight lift because I did worry that I was getting a bit too close to that gravel on the outside. So, can we identify the cars? That looks like a Ferrari 488 ahead of us and a Lamborghini Huracan. So, as I say, we're sort of pretty much on the back of them by the Mercedes arena. Take a bit of the curb out there. So yeah, we're pretty much on them, and then ahead of them it looks like there's another 2 cars, so there's a potential before the end of the race to make up another 4 places. Difficult to see if that Lamborghini's holding up the Ferrari. But we haven't got that long left, so we're going to be, it's probably no more than say sort of 3 o'clock in the morning now. And now, again, my concern is where I'm going to pass them and how much are they going to hold me up if I want to get to the next 2 ahead. So we have a look down the inside. It's not going to work. Bearing in mind he's got a pretty identical car to me. Through the ad van. Up into the chicane. Not going to be able to pass there, so we'll just stick to the right hand side. Through we go. Oh, nearly lost the rear end. Take it on the inside. Run it out. Oh no, we've got a tank slapper. Great. Unbelievable. So, and now I've got to turn it around, get the traffic out of the way. Unbelievable. So, yeah, and now all that work that I've done has completely and utterly been destroyed. I think looking back at that, I let the car run too wide and just basically clobbered a bit too much curb. The left hand side wheels then started getting into the gravel, and then before I know it I was just into a bit of a tank slapper, and it's my own fault. Just pushing too hard. It's completely destroyed the race. Pretty much now running at the back. And yeah, with minor damage to the car. There's not much more to say about that, so I think we'll move on. Getting into the beginning of the new day. Sun's starting to rise, starting to look a bit lighter out there now. Seeing how far, how much we can move up the grid to this lot. within sort of the next lap or so, because we are coming to the end of the race. The Audi R8 ahead of us. Kind of almost lost a bit of motivation now, really, knowing that you're pretty much at the end of the race. There's not really much you can do. You'd be well out of the points. You're probably going to have your team manager who's going to be slightly annoyed at you at the end of the race. But we'll see how many cars that we can pass. Oh, nearly clobbered the back of the Audi there. Brake down into the first corner, we take the Audi, do we? He's still roughly there on the inside, trying to find it. There he is. Okay, so we've cleared him. So we've got a BMW M6 ahead. We're right up its arse. We're trying to work out what we're going to do. We're going to try again and go for the outside. Looks like we've potentially cleared it. A lot of curb, but we've cleared it. So, well, we're at one. We did take quite a bit of the inside curb there. And now we've got Ferrari ahead of us. You can slightly see the sun now starting to make an appearance. But this is the last lap. There's going to be... yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to pass these three before the end. So the leader's done. We're pretty much only halfway around the lap. We've got the run on the Ferrari now. Looks like we're going to do it on the inside. He's holding it out. Have we managed to do it? Managed to do it. And that, my friends, looks to be the end of my time at the Nurburgring. We're certainly not going to pass this lot with 2 corners to go up behind the Mercedes, but I think that's pretty much going to be it. Yeah, what a disappointing race right at the end as well. There's the blue smoke. We go across the line and that's the end. So some pretty awful driving by me for today, but it's another video that's in the bag. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget my Instagram feed and Twitter feed as well. All the descriptions are in the link below. And yeah, I'll speak to you all again soon. Until next time, goodbye.